refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the best football show you'll ever watch in your entire life. FFC. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to another great episode. We are here today for a special episode. It is recap draft. Like, we had a great draft this last week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're going to go over the first round picks for each team, but not like we're going to go through 32 teams for the first round picks and then go back over what they know. So we're going to talk about the first round, and then we'll talk about what they did the rest of the draft, and then we'll go through that with every team. So it'll be a nice little show today. Hold on real quick. I got a producer. Okay, cool. All right, so where did I leave off? Recap draft. Now, before we get in to the recap, okay, I want to address something that annoys the hell out of me. I really do. I think it's gotten to the point I might just be nitpicking at this point myself. Why is it that every time we have the NFL draft, somehow, some way, Aaron Rodgers becomes a focal point? Why? Somebody please, by all means, tell me why someone who really hasn't been as supreme as most people think, because he only has been to one championship, who he has won, and I haven't. I think how many AFC NFC championships does he have? He's had some playoff appearances, but he looked like Brett Favre. He got one ring, he got in, he got put back out. He went to the Jets, he lost a leg. Tried to stay, he lost everything. He went to the Steelers, he did nothing. Granted, that division was pretty bad, okay? And honestly, he actually could have gotten to the play. He could have won. They got into the playoffs. They could have did something, but it didn't happen. You know what that tells me? Rodgers, you can chase Brady all you want. You ain't even getting number 2, okay? Here, I'll be ignorant. Josh Allen will have a Super Bowl before Aaron Rodgers gets 2. Like, it's not happening. And what annoys the hell out of me is every draft, Aaron Rodgers seems to somehow have his name. Ooh. Hey, Prince, you have a question? What's that? Hold on, let me check my microphone because I was talking. Okay, now we should be good. Hopefully everybody heard everything I said anyway. What was I saying? But yeah, he seems to make himself a focal point of the draft, and this draft is about not him. This is about people who are coming to change their lives for the future. And it seems like the last 3 to 4 drafts, Aaron Rodgers' name is always around the draft. And it's just like, why? He's not that important. It's 2 days after the draft. We should be getting ready to talk about OTAs. We should be getting ready to talk about these young cats. And what are we talking about? Oh, the Steelers had some, that free agent, that restricted free agent signing for Aaron Rodgers. They're basically waiting again. What will happen if every student don't go to school? I can't answer that question because hey, have you seen the Summers? He'll be everywhere. But I'm not going there. Kids not in school. I mean, what kind of school? If you talk about a public school, I mean, if you're talking about homeschool, you learn something if you got a good homeschool teacher. If every kid don't go to school, it'll be anarchy. It'll be anarchy. But anyway, so enough about Aaron Rodgers. Sorry that I even had to make him a focal point of my show. But I mean, it is what it is. It's football. And it annoys me that his name is just involved in the draft. And it ticks me off because it's not about him. It never is. It never will be. And it just, the Aaron Rodgers, what do we call it? Nobody's on the Aaron Rodgers train. Nobody cares. I feel like it's at that point. I don't care. I really don't. What is he going to do with the Steelers this year? Absolutely nothing. It's going to Joe Burrow. Anyway, let's get back to what we really came here for, and let's recap this wonderful draft that we just had. So, as we all know, the number one pick in the NFL draft this year was Fernando Mendoza for the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders, where is your helmet? All right, so there you go. All right, so they did draft a quarterback number one as needed. They had no quarterback. Geno Smith was not there. But let's be real, it wasn't the coach either. So we're gonna see what the new regime, starting from not the bottom. They already got a running back. They got a couple of good guys that can catch the ball. Got a great tight end. He's got a great escape route. Escape play. What do you call it? Not escape. Security blanket. Now, what else did the Raiders need? Their defense was a little bit subpar, especially in the secondary. They could use a little bit of help on the O-line. And, I mean, it wouldn't have hurt if they drafted another receiver. That wouldn't have hurt. So let's look and see what the Raiders did with the rest of the draft and see what grade we would give them. All right, so in the second round, they got a safety, Treydon Sturks. I actually like that. That's actually really, really good. Not that many. I think maybe one or two safeties went in the first round. We'll double check that as we go through our list. But this is actually really good because they had the second pick in the second round, and they were able to get a top safety. This is actually amazing for the Raiders. So again, Raiders are making good moves. Hey, look here. You can put it on who you want to put it on is making a good move, but we can also say, Tom Brady is, part owner, and he's sitting over there in the rooms too. I'm just saying. All right. So in the third round, they drafted an edge rusher, Kyron Crawford. So they only had one pick in the second round at 30 overall 38. They had a pick in the third round, 67 overall. I do like this. It gives that gives Max Crosby some help, basically. I do think he's gonna have Crawford a stand-up rushing linebacker. Okay, good. So they're basically gonna use him as a hybrid, which is fine. I like that. I love hybrid players, especially that can play on either side of the ball. Some hybrids can only play on one side. So if you can play on either side, you're just a threat on the field. They drafted a center. Oh no, sorry, they had two picks in the third round because with the 91st overall pick, they drafted Trey Zoon, center. I like that. They need offensive line as well. Go ahead and get you a nice young center for your young quarterback. Fourth round, they had two picks. They got a cornerback, Jermon McCoy, and they got running back Mike Washington. I do like the fact that they got a complimentary running back, and I like the fact that they waited to the fourth round to get this running back. I would have probably, depending on the the draft value, Maybe I would have went for another corner in the third round, but if Jermad was one of the better corners that was left, then yeah, they got him in the first. They got him with the first pick in the fourth round. Fifth round, they drafted another safety. Okay, Dalton Johnson. They had 2 picks in the fourth round, so they also drafted another cornerback. So I do like that. Again, they went pretty defense, and again, I said their secondary was kaputs. You can put up points on these boys. So they are addressing that very well with the safety in the second round. You get you a hybrid in the third round. Here's what's going to be key about that hybrid. If he has good hands, he's going to be putting coverage as well. And that's just, again, they're trying to rebuild this team with a good foundation. And so far, from what I'm seeing, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Again, they got a complimentary running back for Genty in the fourth round, so that's really good. Then they went back in the fifth round and just ate up on defense, secondary to be exact. They got another safety in Dalton Johnson, and they got a corner in Hazika Masses. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And look at that. Sixth round, they got Malik Benson, wide receiver. He'll probably be more of a punt. Let me see what his height is. Let's see what they say about his hands and everything. Made his mark with Oregon after less productive stints in Alabama and Florida. Okay, so he has track, caliber, speed. So yeah, they're probably, depending on his height and weight, open hitches, slants underneath. So they'll use him for quick passes, and most likely they'll have him starting as a kick punt returner until they can see what he can do on the. Now, if they like what he can do with his hands on the field, he's probably going to play. He might take somebody's spot. Again, receivers with the Raiders aren't the best, so it'll be a good competition for all of them. And in the seventh round, they got a defensive tackle, Brandon Cleveland. So I would give the Raiders overall draft. So the fact that they needed a quarterback, they grabbed it with the first one. The fact that their defense is not the best, secondary specifically, right? They grabbed a safety with the second pick. Okay. I like the fact that in the fifth round they went ahead and got more secondary aid. They addressed a lot of issues that they had. I actually like that the fact that a lot of people don't get a center. Not a lot of people don't need a center. So the fact is, when you need a center, you draft one. I'm always with a center when they get drafted. It always seems as though they're drafted at the right time. Like, no matter who needs a center, when they need the center, and they get them, and you can get them in the fifth round. It's just like when you look at it, okay, perfect, you address that. Not too many centers are going to go in the first round or really the second. You might, again, third round pass is where you're going to get most of your centers. Unless you're depleted, unless he's just that high caliber of a player, the highest you could get him is second round or late first round. All right, so let's see here real quick. All right, next team. So the number 2 were the Jets. They had the number 2 pick. I was impressed with how the Jets did a draft, how they addressed the draft this year. They're going to address it defensively, and they did address it offensively as well. So they kind of went back and forth, but I like how they did it. At first, I was a little questionable, only because I really wish they would have traded to try to trade up and get better players, but they were able to stay at 16, and they got a tight end. But as we know, their first pick was David Bailey, edge from Texas Tech. Their second pick in the first round was a tight end from Oregon, Kenyon Sadiq. Now, this part is the one that impressed me because remember, Jets suck. Jets made a lot of wheeling and dealing. Jets had 5 first-round picks in total. 2 this year, 3 next year. They went genius mode. They got back into the draft in this round, in the first round. So they ended up having 3 picks in the first round. That was absolutely genius. And what did they go get? With their 30th pick. For them, this is a great 30th pick, okay? For anybody else who had the 30th pick, maybe but that's most likely not where they were going. So I don't think the team at 30 needed a wide receiver. The Jets do. So they went ahead and got one. I did love that pick. 3 picks in the first round. I do think all 3 will hit. 2 offense, 1 defense. The defense wasn't too bad. They did lose Sauce Gardner, and they did lose, I believe they lost somebody on the line. But they will address. They're addressing it look, from where the Jets were to where they're trying to go. If this coach can get them right, hey, I was wrong, and I'll say it on live camera. I'll tell you that I beat him up last year. I'm telling you, but the Jets stayed with him. They wanted to let him have his way, give him a true fair shot. So we're gonna let it happen and see. Okay, so they had 3 picks in the first round. In the second round, they got a cornerback, D'Angelo Bonds. I do like that. It doesn't address the loss of Sauce Gardner. It addresses the vacancy of the corner position. They got a defensive tackle, so they had 2 picks in the 4th round. They got Darrell Jackson Jr., defensive tackle, and they got a quarterback, Caleb Kubnik. Interesting. That's very, very interesting. So he's the 3rd quarterback off the board, I believe. Maybe we'll go look at the other when we get to other teams. Somebody might have taken one in the second or 3rd round because he was taken in the 4th round. So we'll see. Potentially the 3rd one off the board. In the 6th round, Anise Cooper, guard. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Always get protection on your offensive line. And with the 7th pick, they got VJ Payne, safety. I don't know how viable. Again, everybody got to fight for the spot, right? Listen, I don't think they needed that. I think if I were the Jets, I possibly would have went another offensive lineman here, or another defensive tackle. Yeah, I wouldn't have went safety with that last pick. I don't think he's going to do anything, to be honest with you. All right, so the Jets had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks total in this draft. The impressive one was trading back into the 1st round and ended up with 3 first-round picks. That was really good. I would give the Jets draft. I'd give it a B minus. It wasn't bad. It was decent. They addressed some areas. I might have even gone with a linebacker at the 7th pick, but no, maybe not the value of a linebacker that late. Maybe not. But I give them a B minus. Did I give the Raiders a grade? I don't think so. The Raiders get an A. They addressed everything from top to bottom that they needed to address, I believe. Now it's going putting the package together, but they had an outstanding draft in my opinion. All right, 3rd pick. Oh boy, I couldn't wait to get to them. I didn't like their 1st pick. I was very vocal about that. So let's see what they did for the rest of the draft. Arizona Cardinals. All right, so the Arizona Cardinals with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks. They had 7 picks. They decided to waste the 1st pick. Oh my God. All right, Cardinals. You got it. Guys. Okay, you got it. So with the 1st pick, they drafted Jeremiah Love. Now, I personally didn't care for that pick. It wasn't needed. It wasn't even on their tracker of top needs. You understand what I'm saying? You know what top need for them was? Quarterback. You know when they got the quarterback? In the 3rd round. So that tells you right there what the Cardinals' priority is. Okay? Now, okay. So let me explain something to y'all. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the offensive line for the Arizona Cardinals. You have James Conner, you have Trey Benson, and you have Tyler Algier. You have 3 already great running backs on that team. They got hurt. It happens. Now, prior to the injury, how many of you who play fantasy football looked at James Conner and said, "Oh, hell no"? Tell me when. Tell me when the last time you did that. Because since he's came to the league from the Steelers, took the starting role, went to the Cardinals, took the starting role, James Conner ain't had no problems running the football. What does that tell you? Oh, The offensive line is pretty good. Oh, hold on. Because see, y'all had a quarterback that wasn't a quarterback. You had a little boy that ran around the circle and threw the ball up in the air. Okay? That's what you had. Offensive line still protected. Okay. Jacoby Brissett can throw for 300 and some odd yards, which means what? He's sitting where? Oh. In the pocket. Okay, cool. Hold on. So your offensive line is good. You don't have a quarterback. And with your first two picks, you decide to go running back and guard. Okay, no problem. Then you go with your third pick. You go with your third pick, and you go with Carson Beck. I mean, I've never seen a more desperate pick in a draft because you couldn't let him go now, right? You had the first pick. You could have taken anybody else at quarterback, not Carson Beck. You could have gotten another receiver because your receiving core is not good at all. You only got one. And you got a tight end. And then with the fourth pick, you go defensive tackle Caleb Proctor. Fifth pick, now you go receiver Reggie Virgil. So you're just taking anybody at this point. Okay? Sixth pick, you go with a linebacker. Seventh pick, you go with an offensive tackle. No edge rusher at all, which is what you desperately need on that defense. You got no edge rusher. So you got two offensive linemen. You got a defensive tackle. You got a late wide receiver that's not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything. You got a quarterback with the third pick. You're soon to be starting quarterback. How long you really think he's going to sit behind Jacoby Brissett? So your third pick is going to be playing quarterback really soon. It's not going to, boy. Cardinals, I give you a D. I give your draft a D. You had 7 picks and you squandered them. You really did. You only had 1 pick in the first, 1 pick in the second, 1 pick in the. You actually only had 1 pick in every round. This possibly might be the worst draft in history. You did nothing. You wasted a running back. You have 5 running backs on your team. You haven't had a quarterback on your team for like 12 years. And you wait till the third round of them? Well, it's great value. I tell you that. For your team, we're going to see. Because I don't think you're going to do nothing with it. Nah, Cardinals. We're going to have a lot to say about you this year. Because, oh my God, you got a D for the draft. I can't give you nothing higher than that. All right, next team up, we have the Tennessee Titans. So, I'm going to check on them. That's good. All right, so we got Tennessee had 7 picks in the draft. All right, so as we know, they went with wide receiver Carnell Tate. I love that pick for the simple fact you're getting your young quarterback another weapon. Calvin Ridley. Oh, now everybody's off on Calvin Ridley, huh? Everybody don't believe in Calvin Ridley no more. I told y'all since his days in Atlanta when he was playing with one Julio, I'm a man Jones. What did Calvin Ridley do? He got 1,200 yards. What did Calvin Ridley do when they said you the number 1 receiver now? He got kicked out the NFL for a little bit for gambling because he can't catch. As the number 1 guy, oh, he's absolutely atrocious. He can't handle a double team. He is a single coverage receiver. That's it. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That's just where your placement is. You were number 2. You keep trying to go somewhere and be a number 1, and you about one most disappointing number 1 receiver I've ever known. And I keep telling people, get off that train. Get off that Calvin Ridley train. Gonna make you cry. And here come the tears flooding. So I don't know what to tell you. I told you already. I ain't gonna keep repeating myself. I'm gonna look at you and say, well, I told you so. I'm that guy. I like to tell people that because they don't listen. All right. So outside of Carnell Tate, they had 6 other picks. They had another one in the first round at the 31st pick. And I think did they come back into the draft with that one? Because I think they only had 1 pick, and I think they came back in to the first round, trading in. And they got edge rusher Keldrick Falk. I do like that as well. That Titans defense needs a little bit more beefing, which is why I like the fact that they got a linebacker in the second round. So this is where linebackers are kind of starting to flourish, is in the second round. Anthony Hill Jr. to the Tennessee Titans. In the 5th round, they got a guard, Fernando Camano, 5th round. So they had 2 picks in the 5th round. They also got a running back, Nicholas Singleton. I do like that. They need to get somebody back there. Just to get some meat. You got to get some more. Got to get some more bodies in that running back. Make running backs fight for their position. If you basically have 1 or 2 backs, and then you go through your draft, and you just like, we good with these 2. Ain't nobody gonna fight. They know that they got the job, and ain't nobody gonna work hard. You put 2 more guys, and now this ain't for you, Cardinals. You stupid. You put some more bodies back there and make these guys fight for their job. Anybody back there needs to fight. But you had 3 running backs that was already fighting, and you want to add? Now you're adding more dogs to a single bone. That's dangerous. Don't do that. Don't do it. You already did it. So. They got a 6th round. They had 2 picks in the 6th round. They got Jackie Marshall, defensive tackle, and center Pat Coogan. With the last pick, they got tight end Jaron Koenig. So I would say for the Tennessee Titans, I give them a C-. They had an okay draft. Not too many big splashy picks. They addressed it on concerned areas. I would have liked maybe 1 more receiver just because I don't think they have enough. But not too bad of a draft with only 8 picks. Next up we had the 5th pick. Giants. Giants have the 5th pick. So me personally, I'm liking what the Giants have been doing this year. There we go. I like the move head coaching. Head coaches came in and he made some other moves. So I do like them. Now they only had 7 picks in this draft. 2 in the first round. First one was edge rusher Arvell Reese. Now I would have liked them to get the Giants should have gotten Jeremiah Love. That is the running back they should have gotten. That would have helped this team out in a minute. Don't get me wrong, I love Scatterbo, but I'm sorry, as a business, operating a business, but he just had an injury. We ain't trying to let him get hurt again. We need to draft somebody else. That way, we got a healthy running back going down the field every single game. Not just one. We have a healthy running back, meaning you're keeping Scatterbo and the rookie at a point where, the injury is less. Scatterbo was on the field pretty much, 90% of the time? As a rookie, he was always on the field. And it was a non-contact injury on basically him falling on his ankle wrong. That's a lot of activity, but it was an accident. It wasn't even like he was hit. Now, regardless of the fact it is a foot injury, and those things heal differently. Nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying as a business, I'm looking at it from a business standpoint. I want to get somebody else back there to help this guy so we don't have a situation where when one goes down, we're asked out basically. It didn't happen that way because the Cardinals are ignorant, but they did get edge rusher Arvell Reese, and in the first round they came back in and got an offensive tackle Francis Magua. I hope I said that right. They do need. I would say I'm okay with that because they need to get some help. Make sure they keep their quarterback protected. Young quarterback. They need to work on his mechanics a little bit more and not have him running for touchdowns so much. But I think with Harbaugh, that a lot of that is going to change. You're going to see a lot of that change. Second pick, they got a cornerback. I'm okay with that. Colton Hood. Third pick, they got a wide receiver. That for me is fine. They already have a couple of good receivers already, especially Malik about to say Malik Willis? Malik Neighbors. He'll be back this year as well. So Giants are headed into the right direction, especially with this draft. 6th pick, they got a defensive tackle, Bobby Jameson Travis. With the 6th, they had 3 picks in the 6th round. They also got J.C. Davis on another offensive tackle and linebacker Jack Kelly. So I would say for me, I would give the Giants. I would like to see another linebacker. I would like to see a linebacker a little earlier than the 7th round. Like, I don't think there's a name that splashes on the Giants team as a linebacker. But for me, I would give them a C+. Wasn't impressed with the draft, but the first 2 picks were okay. The first pick was the running back got taken, and they went ahead and got an edge, and I'm okay with that. You can always use an edge rusher, and you can always use offensive linemen like all the time. So I'm okay with that. This thing, I'm okay with it. Doesn't mean it's gonna give them much of a boost. No, the team for me, the Giants team for me is already kind of in that mode, ready to move forward. Like I said, I kind of have them at the number 2 team in the AFC, in the NFC East, not in the conference, but just in the NFC East division. Not sure if this draft helps that. But again, with the great coaching staff that they have, we'll see how this all works. So I mean, your first round pick can be a scrub. Your 7th round pick can be a hero. So again, that's why it's the names for me when it comes to the NFL draft. The names to me, I'm not too focused on. Okay, it's what do you do in your position, because that's what you're being hired for. At the end of the day, it is a job, right? And at the end of the day, when you're building your job, did you build your roster for your job correctly? And this one is like, it's a C. It's an average. It's an average roster for me. Like the draft roster, it's like I said, the Giants didn't do anything too spectacular, but they did address positions that are needed. All right, so moving on to the number 6 pick, which was all right. So the Kansas City Chiefs have the 6th pick in the draft. And with that pick overall in the first round, they drafted Mason Delane, or Mansour Delane, cornerback. I do like that pick. Their secondary was another team that was, getting kind of depleted. So they addressed that with the first pick. And they came back into the first round for a defensive tackle, which was actually really, really brilliant. I like the fact that they came back in for a defensive tackle. That be like defensive, how many went? Maybe 2 or 3 went before him. So he's a top 5. I wouldn't say he's a top 5, but they got basically a potential top 5 drafted defensive tackle to the team. A young rookie like that in the middle, that's always good. That's just young, healthy strength that you need in the middle of the field. Running backs beware. So they have Justin Fields as their quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Basically, Andy Dalton is going into this year straight defense. Or not Andy Dalton, Andy Reid. Straight defense, meaning he is going to win games defensively, okay? He's going to basically put Justin Fields out there. Like, he's going to put him out there. Like, he likes his style of football play, so he's going to put him out there, but he is not banking wins strictly on that. He is building a defensive team to hold the fort for Mahomes to get back. How do you know? Well, not only did they get a corner with the first pick and the defensive tackle with the 2nd pick in the first round, they came in the 2nd round with the 8th overall pick in the 2nd round, 40th overall pick, and got Mason Thomas, edge rusher. Then they came in the 4th round, and they got a cornerback, Jaden Kennedy. So they basically, with their first 4 picks, went straight defense. That is how you know what Andy Reid's intentions are going into this season. They got a running back in the 5th round, Emmett Johnson. You want to know something funny? He might end up being the best running back the Kansas City Chiefs ever had. Everybody else that is running that ball for Kansas City, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, got drafted too early. They were not those kind of players. He is, I think, right where he needs to. Emmett Johnson, to me, is right where he needs to be drafted. Maybe in the 4th round. He could have won the 4th round. But I just think where his value is, Kansas City's going to get a lot out of this cat. So I think he's my, he's not my sneaky player, but I would say a player you should keep your eye on if you're looking for instance, for fantasy purposes, right? You're looking for a rookie running back late in the draft. Emmett Johnson might be that guy. So we'll keep our eye on Emmett to see how he does, OTAs, listen to how they're using him, listen to how he's been, how he's doing at practice. Like I said, I don't care too much for preseason games. I love watching them. They don't do anything for me because they're more so about 3rd and 4th stringers getting the spot. What I like to pay attention to during training camp season is camp. Like, what is going on in camp? What are reporters saying about players in camp? Don't listen to the whole, he threw 12 interceptions. They're designed. Those are designed interceptions. That's practice, okay? The yips, not really. Yips don't bother me. They said Jamar Chase had the yips in training camp. Had the yips during, preseason. Everybody faded him. I snatched that dude up so quick. I said, y'all stupid. And he went to the Super Bowl. He took me. I think I made it to the playoffs. I made it to the conference or the finals. I think I lost. But I'm saying, if I wouldn't have made it that far without Jamar Chase, because nobody wanted him. And he was my 3rd receiver because I drafted 2 others before that. I think I got him in the 9th round. Nobody wanted it. It was stupid. All right, so running back in the 5th round, they got a receiver, Cyrus Allen, in the 5th round as well. And they got a quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, in the 7th round. Hey, he might be he might be a sneaky player. He might be the sneaky player. Meaning, remember, their quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. Their starting quarterback right now is Justin Fields. Okay? Justin Fields just doesn't happen to play well. They're going to go with Garrett. Garrett might play really well. And if not, that's fine because Garrett's mentor is Mahomes. This is the future. This is the future pick. Very late. I know some people look at a quarterback late and say, no, this was a very smart pick. I think a lot of the picks that the Chiefs did this year are very just intelligent picks. They only had a few. They 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They only had 7 picks. Not much room to do anything with where their team already is. So they're not trying to rebuild. They're just basically trying to get right back at good but better. You know what I mean? So for me, looking collectively what they did, their defense is not the best as it used to be. They went 4 defensive players with their first 4 picks. Their running back game ain't the best, but to me, they got a great value out of Emmett Johnson. Receivers, you can get them scattered anywhere. It's up to them in their hands to do something. I'm sorry. You can get a receiver in the 1st round. You can get a receiver in the 7th round. I'm dead serious. Receivers is all of it. That's one of those that's why it's a diva position. Because he might have fallen for some reason, but doesn't mean he's going to go out in the NFL field and play like a fallen player. Not every receiver. Receivers are different. You have to want the ball. You have to go out there and get the ball. And if that opportunity comes to you, you got to catch it. So if he's out here doing his job, he's going to be a great player for the Chiefs at the 5th round. And again, 7th round pick, quarterback from LSU. I don't know much about the quarterback. Again, I haven't watched. I did not get a chance to watch a lot of college this year. Hopefully that changes last year. So hopefully that changes this year. But the value, if the quarterback is what they need him to be for the future, it's a great value pick. For the Chiefs, especially with the way they killed it in the first 4 rounds, I'm going to get a Chiefs a B. Chiefs had a B draft. I do like the way they, again, every move they made in this draft was very strategic, very genius, very futuristic, if that makes sense. It's all about the future. The one pick that is about right now is Mansour Delane. Okay, he is the right now pick. Everybody else, even Peter Woods, they are future. They're the future basically. Okay, and everything needs to have a future. And I like the way they're planning themselves. They don't want to have to rebuild. The Patriots did this a few times where they just made strategic, smart draft moves because they still had Brady and they still had great backups. So they knew where they were offensively. They knew where they were as an organization. So the picks were just strategically placed for future purposes, basically. Because mind you, some of the picks didn't work out. So what they do? They traded them away. Person never got any playing time, so they didn't have no miles on them. The other team can use them. So it's not about what you can. It's not about the player might have been. Sometimes the player just doesn't fit your system. But as a genius coach, you know, oh yeah, he can work over there, and we won't have no problems dealing with it. It's all you just got to know. That, like football is when it comes to this era of the game, right? This part of the game, with drafting players, analyzing players, what they can and cannot do. It comes down more to not are they bad players. Nobody's a bad player. Okay, do they fit your system? The only way you become a bad player is if you cannot adjust from your mistakes. Again, a rookie is not going to play better, most likely in his sophomore year. However, what are you looking for in that third year? To be better than both. If you elevated your game better than your rookie and that sophomore year that you had the slump. Now, if you're in the third year and your third year looks like your sophomore year, you're in a bad shape. If your third year just looks better, but you can still use some improvement, well, that fourth year is how you get a contract or not, how you get an extension or not. See how that works? So, again, everything they did is more so for the future, which also means they're not heavy on handing out a lot of paychecks right now, which is good for them. They don't have to fork up money here, fork up money there, so they can also make in-season trades to make the team better. You're going to see the Chiefs make a lot of moves. But what I love is that they had a outstanding draft, the average draft. When I say outstanding, is the genius of addressing every position needed at a value price. All right, so the 7th pick, we're moving on to team 7. All right, Washington. Okay, so with the first pick, they got Sonny Styles, a linebacker. Finally, somebody addressed the fact that they needed a linebacker in the first round. Now, other teams did it as well. They got hybrids. Edge rushers are sometimes hybrids, meaning they can run. They can play linebacker and on the edge. It just means you got an extra blitzer, and if he's good at coverage, you have an extra man in coverage. So they got Sonny Styles, third pick. Or the second pick was in the third round. They got Antonio Williams, wide receiver. So for me personally, it was either go wide receiver in the first round because they need one, or go defense in the first round, which they did. So I'm okay with that. And then if they went ahead and backdoored, it was late in the third because they did not have a pick in the second round. Maybe that's something I would have loved to see is them probably take a pick or take whatever. They ain't got much. They only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not sure what they could have done to get a second round pick. I think they were kind of stuck where they are. But they got a wide receiver in the third round, Antonio Williams. They got an edge rusher in the 5th round. A little late. They definitely need edge rushing help. That was a little late, but hopefully, again, they needed a wide receiver though. So, and they're very limited on picks. So hopefully it works out. Let's say I like the pick, but hopefully it works out. It's just a 5th round edge rusher. It's late. It's late. 6th round running back, Katron Allen. That's pretty late for a running back. I mean, they got little Bill, so they should be okay. Giving this kid, if he's a complimentary running back, that'll be fine. You know, meaning if you got a 6th round pick and he can come in. And whenever his numbers just, he's coming in to give Bill some rest, but he's pushing 5 yards a carry, maybe 4.5 yards a carry. When he's in the game, that's actually a really good percentage for a 6th round running back. If it's anything between 2.3 to 3.9 yards a carry, they pretty much lost in that round. He's a bad value for the draft. In the 6th round, they got a center. I mean, I'm okay with that. Get some more offensive line help, and they got it in the 6th round, so that's fine. And they got a quarterback. I'm not pronouncing Athan. They got a quarterback, Athan, in the 7th round. I think they wasted that pick. They didn't need a quarterback. You have one. What you needed to go do is you honestly could have went and got a veteran backup, not Mariota, but you could have went out here and got somebody else as a veteran back. There's a lot of them, actually. There's quite a few really good veteran backups. Hell, you could have had Kirk Cousins. How you get that? How you let that one go? He's literally just a backup. Like somebody needs to look. I love Kirk. I do. I really, really do. And I like the fact that he's going to be able to teach Mendoza. That is the biggest plus sign for the Raiders. However, can we where's my camera? Can we stop paying Kirk Cousins, please? I love him. He's my guy. But now he's a mentor. He's getting paid to be a mentor, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. He should absolutely start the entire season unless he just falters, right? But he should start the entire season, give Mendoza all the training, all the teaching that he needs. So when he's ready to take over that team, it's go time. Stop paying this man. Now you're just paying him to be a teacher. Like, no, don't do that. Philly undercutted us, but I think it worked out for the best. They did. They really did. That was cold-blooded. I can't lie, bro. But you might be right. I hope Philly know what they're doing with it. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And when we get to them, we're going to talk about that too. All right, so I would give Washington's draft I'm going to give it a C minus. I'm going to give it a C minus. Their biggest splash was Sonny Styles, but again, they didn't have many picks. Their next pick wasn't until the third round. They didn't have a fourth round pick, so they had to wait to the fifth round to get an edge rusher. They had 2 picks in the sixth round, and then they had 1 7th round pick. So they didn't. For me, it was the best they could do. That's how I put it. It was the best they could do. All right. Where are we at? Now we're going into pick number 8, and that is the Saints. Ooh, good. Yeah, let's see. All right, so New Orleans Saints. All right, so you're going to go with the quarterback that they have, which is fine. You got it. Look, I'm never one to tell you to get your quarterback outside of J.J. McCarthy because I do not like him. I'm so sorry. I don't like him. I just don't think he's a quarterback for the NFL. I think he's really soft. And he's a crybaby. And what else? I mean, I'm trying to be nice, really. I'm trying to be as nice as possible. And now this coach got to deal with him and Kyler Murray. What? Okay, that's stupid. So I am okay with you sticking with your quarterback if you know their potential will be better, okay? He has potential. Okay, what they do is they went out and got him Jordan Tyson. They got him a wide receiver. I love it. Get your guy some help. Get him some weapons. Again, you already have Chris Olave. Now you got Chris Olave some help, okay? So I think Tyler So is I don't know, last year for a rookie playing in the time that he had to play, I think he did okay. He wasn't the best, but the Saints weren't the best either. You know what I mean? So the only position I'm worried about for the Saints, and it doesn't look like they really, no, I ain't addressing it at all. Hold on. Before I speak, let me see something. Let's see. Where are you? Can I categorize it? No. Okay. That's up. Oh, here we go. Depth chart. Okay. Let me see. Before I speak, I need to get my numbers first. Because if the numbers look anywhere that I think they do, we're going to have a problem, Saints. Saints. Okay. So I've spoken about this quite a few times. That's why I had to wait and look at the numbers and see. Okay. But I've spoken about this quite a few times. They are not addressing this fact that they don't have, okay, not Alvin Kamara, but there's nothing behind Alvin Kamara. They don't have a running back. And they didn't touch a single running back in this draft this year. I'm okay with the receiver in the first round, but they had a second round pick, no running back. They got a defensive tackle, which they do need. I'm not sure they needed a tight end in the third round. That could have been a running back. They didn't need a tight end, especially if you're going with Jawan Johnson, sorry ass. You didn't need a tight end. I'll pay the fine. You got Jeremiah right guard in the fourth round. I'm okay with that. You got Bryce Lance, another wide receiver, but then you got another wide receiver in the sixth round. So you got all these wide receivers, right? But you already have Chris Olave, and you went and drafted Jordan Tyson. You go running back. You got a safety in the fifth round. That's late as hell. You could have got that in the third round, but you got a tight end that you didn't need. Then you got a receiver, another receiver in the sixth round, and then you finish your draft with a seventh round cornerback. Seventh round cornerbacks, defensive backs are trash. If you got any team in the NFL get a cornerback in the seventh round, they just basically grabbed the top person that was on the last person, basically that was on the list of drafting. They just going in order at this point. And he was just picked next. Seriously, that dude ain't doing a damn thing. This, I'm going to have to give another D to a team. Saints, this was a D draft. Not a D minus, but this was a D draft. They could have did a lot better. They could have did a lot better. They didn't address the fact that they need an edge rusher. They got their cornerback late. Then they got three wide receivers. So no. This one, not a good pick, not a good draft for the Saints for me. It's a D draft. All right, next we have the Browns. All right. So as we know, the Browns are a new team, have a new quarterback. Coach is gone, so they're going to have a new coach. And with the first pick for the new Cleveland Browns, that's what we'll call them, we have Spencer Fano with the with the first pick in the ninth pick in the first round. Offensive tackle. Get him some help. I like that. Get him some protection. You should do some protection. With the second pick in the first round, they got him a receiver, Casey Conception. I like that as well. Third pick in the second round. They had two picks in the second round. They got Denzel Boston, wide receiver. I love that as well. Then they got a safety, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. So the first four picks, they went offensive tackle, wide receiver, and safety. The defense is good. Remember, the Browns have a top 5 defense, so it's not too much they really need to address there. Offensively, they need to address a lot, and they're doing that with the first 4 picks. So I really did like that. And then the third was that they got a third round pick, Austin Barrier, offensive tackle. So they got another offensive tackle. They got a safety with the 5th round pick. So they are beefing up their offensive line. I like it. Another 5th round. So they had 3 5th round picks. They got a linebacker, Justin Jefferson. And then they got another 5th round pick, tight end Joe Royer. 6th round, they got a quarterback, Taylon Green. And then they got another tight end with the 7th. What? Why? Man, y'all could have did more with those. Y'all could have traded them away or something. You waste them. Okay, so those are wasted picks at the end, 6 and 7. It's like they went good. So I'm going to give the Browns draft. No, I give them a B. I'll be fair. I'll give them a B. Outside of those last 2 picks, I think the Bears did a great job. I mean the Bears. I think the Browns did a great job. All right, next we have that was a ninth pick. All right, number 10. We already did the Giants. They had 2 picks in the first round. Next is the Cowboys at number 11. So some of these teams we've already kind of went over in the first round. So we're just now checking to make sure we're going through teams that have not been talked about yet. And that will be number 11, the Cowboys. All right, so I usually have a lot to say negatively about the Cowboys and how they draft. That's just, I don't think they draft well. Now, this year, they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They had 7 picks. Now, initially, my statement was the Cowboys should trade both their first-round picks and get better collateral throughout the draft. However, they didn't have a single second-round pick, and they only had 1 third-round pick. So I had to change that statement quickly, and stated they needed to keep both picks because they have very few picks. So this is where you kind of just have to stay where you are, and you might be able to move around a little bit like they did. They moved back a little bit, but still stayed in the first round with their second pick. So their first pick, they got Caleb Downs, safety, which they desperately needed a safety. You can throw popcorn in the end zone on the Cowboys. It's really bad. With that second pick, they got an edge rusher. Very amazing. They got Malachi Lawrence. So they basically addressed their backside and the front side in the first round. Cowboys had a good first round draft. Okay. Now, third round, that was their next pick. What did they do? They got another edge. I'm actually happy that they did that. Continue beefing up that defensive line. Offensive tackle with the 4th round pick. They had 3 4th round picks. So they got an offensive tackle. They addressed the secondary again. So hopefully Devin Moore turns out to be good, meaning he has a 4th round pick. If he can, not all, I'm not saying 4th round picks are bad, but 4th round pick as a corner is good. You just want to make, now it's just, can you step on the field and translate what we need you to do as Cowboys? That's basically it. Another 4th round pick, LT Overton, another edge rusher. So they got 3 edge rushers in this draft. And then they got a wide receiver, Anthony Smith, with the 7th pick. I don't really care for that last pick. That's just me with the last picks on everybody. But overall, I would say the Cowboys have, for me, an A. They do. There's nothing wrong with the offense. Their running game is good. The receiver core is good. The quarterback is good. They have a backup, I believe. The offensive line is good, and they just basically added to that with Drew Shelton. What they needed to do was get defense, and they got 3 edge rushers and two secondary. What more can you ask for? Cowboys, you get an A. You getting an A. I don't think I've ever given the Cowboys an A in the draft. You get an A. It was a good draft. They really did. They had a really good draft, and I think their first 2 picks, they're going to be most likely, hopefully, as long as you translate and work it works out with you on our team, they're going to be very notable players moving forward into the NFL. Whether they stay together as teammates, or whether one goes one, it's going to be kind of like a Tyrann Matthews and who's the big fella's name? Caleb. I can't think of the name. He just finished with the. I think he just finished his career with the Ravens. I can't think of his name. Maybe it'll come back to me. But they both came from. Where did they both come from? I can't think what college they came from. But anyway, I think they will have that kind of combination as safety, defensive end combo, basically being on the same team, making the team great. Like I said, that's all Cowboys are just missing is players that want to come here and actually play and be great for the Cowboys. And Jerry Jones needs to stop being everything. But again, I give the Cowboys an A in the draft this year. They did a really good job. All right. Next up, we have Miami with the 12th pick. All right, Dolphins. Your first pick, your first pick, I didn't care for. So You don't have a quarterback. That's number one. We're not going to sit here and say Malik Willis is your guy. You don't have a quarterback. Number two, you don't have any receivers. You lost everybody. You lost the entire core. Okay. Number three, the only viable weapon that is literally sitting on your team right now is A-Chain. That's it. That's it. And instead of getting him somebody that can throw, you get him an offensive tackle. Okay, here's the thing. I don't care how many offensive tackles you have on the line. I really don't. If all you can do is run, they're going to put 8 in the box. You're not stopping that. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I don't care what you think you can do. If all you can do is run, they're going to put 8 in the box. Okay? So, first round, offensive tackle, Caden Proctor. Second round, first round again, you got a cornerback, Chris Johnson. Now, here's the thing. That one I'm okay with because 2 years ago, you had 11 players on defense leave that team. 11. And you never addressed it. It was weird. You addressed it this year, but you got 1. So you got 10 more. Second pick, you got a linebacker, Jacob Rodriguez. I'm okay with that. Third, and 3 picks in the third round. So you got wide receiver Caleb Douglas, you got tight end Will Kemerick, and you got wide receiver Chris Bell. So you did address the fact that you need wide receivers. I don't think any of them are going to turn out to be anything. Fourth round, you had 2 picks and 4. Damn, y'all had a lot of picks. What? Watch this. So Trey Moore, linebacker, fourth round pick. You had 2 fourth-round picks. So you had Kyle Lewis, linebacker. So they addressed the defense pretty well. They got 3. It's like they have to refill up the whole defense, guys. There's going to be a lot of young kids on this team. Kyle Lewis, linebacker, 5th round. They got a safety. Mitchell Tappy. 5th round, they got another wide receiver, Kevin Coleman. 5th round, they got a tight end. You don't need a goddamn tight end. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'll pay fine. 6th round, you got a guard, Day Campbell. And 7th round, you got a edge rusher, Max Newlin. No quarterback. Not one quarterback. So you are putting all your eggs in the basket on Malik Willis. Why didn't you just go get Russell Wilson? Man, you could have paid him a lot less. You could pay him. Why didn't you go get Russell Wilson? He can't do no more worse than Malik Willis will do this year. You don't have a good team. Do you know who's in your division right now? You have the Jets, who have a better rebuild than you right now. You have the Patriots, who have a better team than you. You have the Bills, who have a better team than you. I don't know now. They lost their coach McDermott. I don't know if I can say high things about the Bills right now. I'm still a little salty that this dude can make all these mistakes, but the coach gets fired. But all hell overpriced Josh Allen. So you guys had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 picks. Mine had 13 picks. 13. They did address the defense very well. And where they could, they addressed the receiver. No quarterback. No quarterback. I tell you what, they addressed needs outside of quarterback. I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to give the Dolphins a C+. I'm going to give them a C+. I'm going to be fair. It's 12 picks, no quarterback, but they did address the defense needingly, okay? They got everything. But it was it's so many picks, so many. You didn't need 2 tight ends. That was unnecessary. Could have been a quarterback. You got a quarterback. Just saying. You needed the linebackers. You needed the offensive linemen. You needed the receivers. I'll give you that. I'll give you everything you need, but you didn't need 2 tight ends. You did not need 2 tight ends. You could have used. You definitely could have got. And you didn't get an edge rusher until the 7th round. C+. I'll give you C+. I'll be fair. Because at least you addressed the needs of your team. So I'm going to be fair. I'm still going to be fair. I'm still going to be fair. C plus. I can't do more than C plus for the Dolphins. I'm sorry. They could have done better. New GM must be scared. He don't lose. He don't because they're not letting nobody stay 25 years again. All right, so 13th pick, we have the Los Angeles Rams. So the Rams weirded me out. Personally, the way I looked at their team, not many needs are there, right? They're pretty filled. But they're having issues with Nakua. You have Devontae Adams, who I believe had a grade 2 hamstring injury, so his ability down the field is highly limited. You need another receiver. You do. They got a quarterback. They could have used edge. They could have used a linebacker. They could have used a corner with this first pick. But they decided to go with Ty Simpson. Don't know what that was about. Quarterback wasn't even on their agenda. I didn't think anyway. And somehow he was. So they got a tight end in Max Clare. Didn't understand that one either. They got an offensive tackle in Keegan Trost. Again, you got two great running backs who are having a field day on the field, and your quarterback is MVP. What's wrong with your offensive line, bro? What are you doing? And 1, 2, 3, they had 5 picks total. Wow, that's horrible. And each one was a waste. They wasted their second pick. They wasted their first pick. They wasted their third pick. They got a receiver with the 6th pick. What? And then they ended the draft in the 7th round with Tim Keenan as a defensive tackle. So I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna have to give the Rams an F. That's an F draft. Like, none of their needs were actually addressed. Somebody sat there and just said, him. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's what happened. Ty Simpson should not be the quarterback of the Rams. And if it works out, it works out. Don't get me wrong, but this is an F draft. Like, you did nothing right. Nothing properly was addressed here. Like, that's weird. I don't know. I'm not sure who was in charge of player personnel, but he might get fired. All right. So let's see. Moving on to the Ravens with the 14th pick. Let's see how the Ravens did in the draft. All right, so with the first pick, Ravens had a lot of picks. Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 picks. So they right underneath the Ravens. Miami Dolphins. So let's see how they did. All right, so they got a guard with the first pick. I'm very okay with that. They get Lamar Jackson some protection. They addressed the second pick and got an edge rusher. Very good. They got Zion Young in the second round. Okay. Third pick, wide receiver, Jacoby Lane. So they just went address with the first 3 picks. At value, 4th pick, they got another wide receiver in the 4th round at Elijah Sarrett. And that's good. I like it. Get Lamar Jackson some good young help, but guys that can kind of I think they got more so short catches, long game. Basically, yards after catch guys. Let's see, Matthew Hibner, tight end with the 4th pick. I like it. They lost, I can't remember his name. But they lost him, tight end. They still have Mark Andrews, so they're basically adding a second tight end. With the 5th round pick, Chandler Rivers at cornerback. With another 5th round pick, they got another tight end at Josh Kuvas. That's how you say it. They got a running back in Adam Vandal in the 5th round. I do like that. Get a compliment for Derrick Henry. Hopefully he can advance past Derrick Henry. So they got a good value pick at the 5th round for running back. 6th round, they got a punter. That's fine. That's fine. I'd rather a punter than a tight end you don't need, or a quarterback that's not needed and you just want to waste the picks. They got a punter. Good job. 7th round picks. They got Rashawn Benny, defensive tackle, and they got a guard, even Burstein. So I would say with 11 picks, needing an all offensive lineman, they got 3, technically 5 with tight ends. Excuse me. They addressed the edge rusher with the 2nd round pick. Yeah, and they got how many defensive linemen? They got 1 late, and they got a corner. So I'm okay. I would say the Ravens have a B draft. I like they did a decent way. They did decent. They addressed what they needed to address for this team. I do like the back-to-back receivers in the 4th round, in the 3rd and 4th round. Again, he needs a lot of help on that offense. So I will give the Baltimore Ravens a B. Next, we have $15 Bucks. All right, Bucks with the first pick. They had edge rusher Ruben Bain. Very good. That defense is getting depleted. They have to address that. Get Vita Vea some help as well. With the second pick, they also got a linebacker, Joshua Trotter. So I do like the fact that they address defense, which is a big part of the Bucks. They need to have certain pieces on that defense, especially because of the type of defense they run in Tampa too. So I do like the fact that they addressed getting a linebacker and an edge rusher with those first 2 picks. At number 3, they got a wide receiver, Ted Hurst. I'm okay with that. They lost big Mike Williams, Mike Evans. So it's not a replacement of Mike Evans, but it's addressing the fact that they do need another receiver. Keontae Scott with the 4th pick at cornerback, another defensive player that they do need. They addressed the defensive tackle with the 5th round. They got a guard at Billy Strout with the 5th round, which is I'm okay with, and they got a tight end, Beer Snark with the 6th round. And I'm okay with that pick because they already have Kate Otten, who they're actually going to make, I believe, more of a focal point of the offense this year. So with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks, I would say the Bucks have a B+ draft. I do like the way they drafted this year. I believe they addressed their needs very well. I think we could bump them up to an A. I think we could bump them up with the picks that they had. Now, one, I don't have anything negative to say about where they picked, how they picked, what person they picked. To me, they addressed what they needed at the right spot. So, yeah, I'll give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers an A. All right, number 16. We already did the Jets, so we can move on to number 17, which is the Detroit Lions. All right, at number 17, all right, so they got with the first pick, the Lions drafted Blake Miller, offensive tackle. Second pick, edge rusher Derek Moore. I do like that one. With the 4th pick, they didn't have one in the 3rd, so they had a 4th round pick at Jimmy Rawler, linebacker. We'll see how that turns out. 5th round pick, they got a corner at Keith Abney. 5th round, they got a wide receiver at Kendrick Law. 6th round, they got Skylar Gill Howard at defensive tackle. And 7th round, they got Tyree West at defensive tackle. To me, that was a bit of their need with defensive tackle and linebackers. The defense was, it's been hurt. They've been depleted in certain areas. So they kind of addressed that as well. They got another receiver and 1 offensive lineman. Let's see, 7 picks. Let's give the Lions a B+. Let's give the Lions a B+. Pretty decent draft. I like it. Nothing, no complaints or anything. Could have. Trying to see where the safeties are good. Yeah, we can give them an A. Pretty decent draft. We can give the Lions an A. No complaints. Nothing wrong with where they went. Nothing they like. I don't have anywhere they should have done this or done that. I think they addressed their needs very well. Vikings at number 18. Let's see. Vikings at number 18. All right. So with two incompetent quarterbacks, let's see how else the Vikings did. So with the first pick, defensive tackle Caleb Banks, which is what they do also need. They do need some defensive help. They got a linebacker with the second pick at Jake Golday. Third pick, they got a defensive tackle, Dominique Orange. Third pick, the fourth pick in the third round as well, because they have 3 picks in the third round. So the second pick in the third round was Caleb Terrain, offensive tackle. And they got a safety with the third pick in the third round, which is Jacoby Thomas. I do like their first 5 picks, actually. Pretty good. Let's see. They also got a safety. Or they have a full what? So they drafted a fullback in Max Brenison. I really don't know what that was for. They got a cornerback in Charles Dempson. They got a running back in Damon Clay. Okay. So they got then they got a center with the 7th pick. Vikings don't have a running game. And they decide with the 5th pick to get a fullback, and then they decide with the 6th pick to get a running back. No receivers. Can't just rely on Justin Jefferson. Need somebody else there, but no receivers. I get it. I like the fact that they addressed the defensive needs. But I'm going to give this a C. This draft was a C. They didn't address the fact that they need wide receivers. They addressed their running back situation too late. 6th round running back, and you don't have one? What's wrong with you? You gonna make Kyler Murray your running back? What else are you gonna do? All right, next up. C. All right, next up is. All right, we have the 19 we have the Panthers at 19. Carolina Panthers. Where you at? There you are. All right, so at 19, the Carolina Panthers got offensive tackle Monroe Freely. 2nd round pick, they got a defensive tackle Lee Hunter. 3rd round pick, they got Chris Brazzell, wide receiver. And they got a cornerback with the 4th round pick at Will Lee. They got a 5th round pick, Sam Hecht at center. Another 5th round pick, safety Taki Wheatley. And a 7th round pick, linebacker Jackson Kuwach. I would say for the Panthers, I could give them a B. I addressed their needs very well. I would have probably gotten a linebacker a little earlier than the 7th round. I probably would have got them in the 5th and got the center in the 7th. So outside of that, I'll give them a B. Not bad. Pretty good draft. Hopefully it translates for them this year, and they may possibly return to the playoffs. All right, at number 20, getting close, guys, getting close. At number 20, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's see how the Eagles did. All right, so Philly's first pick was Malachi Lemon at wide receiver. They're addressing the fact that AJ Brown is leaving. They need a wide receiver, so I mean you can't go wrong there. Their second pick, they got tight end Eli Stowers. The third pick, they got offensive tackle Markel Bell. Fifth round, they got a quarterback Cole Payton. Interesting. How we know what he's doing now? Sixth round, we got Michael Morris, guard. Seventh round, safety Cole Wazinski. Seventh round, defensive tackle Ur Bernard. And seventh round, edge Kayshawn James. So I would say Eagles, decent draft. I like the fifth round pick quarterback. Not too many crazy holes. The defense is still good. They're addressing little holes they have here on offense. I could give them a B plus. I give the Eagles a B plus in this draft. They did pretty well. All right, at number 21, right? We have the Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers at number 21. All right, so with the first pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got offensive tackle Max. I Anchor. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. At number 2, Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver. I do like that pick at number 2. Quarterback with the third pick at Drew Aller. That is good. Thank you. Somebody decided to get a quarterback where they needed to get a quarterback. Not you. What's the dang on name? Cardinals getting Carson Beck with the third pick. No, that was not good. Maybe Drew Aller should have been your pick in the second round, but I think you addressed the wrong quarterback, and I think you addressed your quarterback need too late. Steelers not necessarily so because they're still waiting on Aaron Rodgers, obviously. But regardless of the fact they got a quarterback in Drew Aller. Third pick, they got Dalen Everett at cornerback. Third pick as well, they got a guard, Jennings Dunker. They got a wide receiver at Caden Wetjen. With the fifth round, they got Riley Nowowski. At the sixth pick, they got the sixth round, they got defensive end Cade Rubio. And 2 seventh-round picks. They got a running back, Eli Hendricks, and safety Robert Spears Jennings. Not all that impressed with what they did in the draft. They got another receiver. They did get their quarterback, who was most likely going to be the quarterback of the future, for the near future. We'll see how that turns out. Defensively, I mean, the Steelers are already good, pretty good. And they addressed it mostly offense in this draft. So I will give them a B. I give the Steelers a B in this draft. I think they did pretty good. No, wrong button. All right. At number 22, all right, we have the Chargers at number 22. All right. So with the first pick, they got an edge rusher in Akeem Mizador. They addressed their center position at the number 2 pick. Let's see. I do think they need a better center. I like that. They definitely need a better center. They didn't have a third round pick, but they had 3 fourth round picks. So with the third pick in the fourth round, they had Brendan Thompson. With their next fourth round pick, they got an offensive tackle, Travis Burke. And their third fourth round pick, they got a safety, Genesis Smith. Their fifth round, they got a defensive tackle, Nick Barnett. And their 2 sixth round picks, they got a guard, Logan Taylor, and guard, Alex Harkey. Their offensive line is bad. I agree with that, yeah. Chargers don't have the best offensive line, so they're getting some meat in, some competition in, some big boys to come in and play. So I'm okay with that. Not too. They just went offensive line really. And they got the edge rusher that they needed. I can give the Chargers a B+. They did a really good. I think they addressed all their needs very well. No complaints on that. Next, we have the Bears. We already did the Cowboys. We already did the Browns. So we have the Bears here at number 25. Let's see how my Chicago boys did this year in the draft. All right. So the first pick, they got a safety, Dylan Thieneman. Second pick, they got a center, Logan Jones. Third, they got a tight end, Sam Ruse. I don't think they needed a tight end. I'm not sure why they did that. Receiver, they did need a receiver. I think they should have got two receivers in this round with their two picks in the third. They got Xavier Thompson, receiver. They got cornerback Malik Muhammad with the fourth pick. The fifth pick, they got linebacker Kayshawn Elliott. And the sixth pick, they got defensive tackle Jordan Vandenberg. Let's see. I'm going to have to give. I need to have a running back. I think they needed more receivers in better position. Like I would have got one in the second round. I would have got one earlier in the third. I didn't need a tight end. And I would have got my linebacker a lot sooner. That would have been my other third round pick as a linebacker. I give the Chicago Bears a C. Average, okay draft, nothing too crazy. They drafted some of their needs. They could have went other places with needs as well. All right, at 26, we have the Houston Texans. All right, so this is it for CJ Stroud. So hopefully he does something with his team. But at number one, they got a guard, Kalen Rutley. At number two, they got a defensive tackle, Caden McDonald. They do need defensive tackle. At number two as well, the third pick in the second round, they got Marlon Keene, tight end. I can see them getting a new tight end. I'm okay with that. At number four, they got a guard, Fedwick. I can't pronounce your name. I'm so sorry, from Oklahoma. Number four, they got linebacker Wade Woodsons. At number five, they got a safety, Kamari Ramsey. Sixth round pick, they got Lewis Bond, wide receiver. At number seven, they got Aiden Fisher at linebacker. I would have gotten my receiver in the second round. Possibly push that tight end to the fourth. Other than that, I would give the Texans a B minus. They had a pretty decent draft. Nothing too crazy. Could have went for an edge rusher in one of these positions, but I like the fact that they got a guard, they got linebacker, they got safety. Receiver could have came earlier, so I'll give them a B minus. All right, at number 27, right? Nope, we already did number 27. That was the Dolphins. 28, the New England Patriots. All right, New England Patriots with the first pick, they had Caleb Lameau at offensive tackle. I'm okay with that. Patriots usually always go with the offensive line in their first pick. Second round pick, edge Gabe Jacobs. Nice. Third pick, tight end Eli Raridan. I like that. Get a new fresh face tight end. Hunter Henry is, he's on his way out. Fourth pick in the fifth round, Kieran Prutney, cornerback. Sixth round pick, they got an offensive tackle, Demetrius Crownover. Sixth round pick, they got a linebacker, Namadi Abenzor. Seventh round, 3 7-round picks. Quarterback, Baron Martin. Seventh round, Jamal Miller, running back. And then they got their last pick, Quintavious Hutchins, edge rusher. I would give the Patriots draft a good C. It was an average draft. They just went offensive lineman. They got what? Offensive tackle, tight end, offensive tackle. One tight end, 3. And then 2 edge rushers, a running back late in the 7th round. C. It was an average draft for the Patriots. Nothing too crazy. Okay. 32nd pick is the Seahawks. I have to get that name out of my mouth. All right, Seattle Seahawks. All right, with the first pick, they got a running back, Jadarian Price. They got rid. They lost. They lost one running back, so they had to replace. You know, they like to keep a two running back set, so they had to replace that. Second pick, they got Bud Clark, safety. Third pick, they got a cornerback, Julian Neal. So they're addressing a lot of the positions that left already, which is really good. They got a guard with the 5th pick, or 5th round pick, I should say. 6th round pick, they got a wide receiver, Emmanuel Henderson. 7th round pick, they got a cornerback, Andre Fuller. 7th round pick, they got a defensive tackle, Devin Easton. And 7th round pick, they got a corner, Michael Dansby. So they addressed a lot of their defensive needs. Obviously, their offense is pretty good. So I would give the Steelers, Seahawks, based on the needs that they drafted, I give them a B. Let's see, Atlanta. So Atlanta didn't have a pick until the 2nd round, and they got a cornerback, Avion Terrell. 3rd round pick, Zachary Branch. They got a wide receiver. 4th round pick, they got a linebacker, Kendall Daniels. 6th round pick, they got Antonio Thompson. 6th round pick, they got a linebacker, Harold Perkins. And the 7th round pick, they got Ethan Anwa, offensive tackle. Here's the thing, it don't matter. You know why? Guess who the quarterback is? Tua Tagovailoa. So it doesn't matter. They didn't address the fact that they actually do need a better quarterback. They did not address the fact that they need offensive line help. They only got one, and they got it late. I give the Falcons a D+ in this draft. Buffalo Bills, they also did not have a pick until the 2nd round, as per usual. Edge rusher TJ Parker in the 2nd round, another 2nd round pick. Davison Igbinson, cornerback. 3 4th round picks. Jude Burrow, offensive tackle. Skylar Bell, wide receiver. Caleb Erlams Orr, linebacker. Let's see. Safety, 2 5th round picks. Jalen Kilgore, safety. And Zane Durant, defensive tackle. 3 7th round picks. Cornerback, Taranio Pride. Punter, Tommy Doman. And a 7th round pick guard, Armaj Reed. Based on all of these picks and the fact that I really don't know what direction they're going in, I'm going to have to give this a I give it a C. I don't really know what the new coach is looking for. I don't know what direction he is. You know, if he's an offensive guy, if he's a defensive guy, he's got picks all over the place. So he has a lot of picks and he used a lot of picks. So I'll give him a C. All right, who are we missing? We're missing Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals had a 2nd round pick. Cassius Howell, an edge rusher. They definitely needed that. And they also got a trade for a defensive tackle from the New York Giants. So they're beefing up that defensive line. Their 3rd round pick, they got cornerback Takario Davis. They had 2 4th round picks. They got a center, Connor Lew, which they need offensive line. They got a wide receiver, Kobe Young. Add some more help to the receiving corps. They got a center, Brian Parker, with the 6th round pick. And with their 2 7th round picks, they got a tight end and a defensive tackle. Tight end Jack Indris and D tackle Landon Robinson. Same, I would say, for the Bengals. They addressed a couple of needs that they have with the offensive line and with the defense I think at the right spots. I would give the Bengals a C plus. They didn't have a first round pick, and so it's not much they can really do starting in the second round. So I give them a C plus. All right, Denver. The Denver Broncos are up with a third round pick. They didn't have a pick to the third round. So they got a defensive tackle, Tyler Udinum. Fourth round, they had 2 fourth-round picks, Jonah Coleman, Cage Casey. Jonah's a running back, Cage Casey, offensive tackle. They got a fifth-round pick, Justin Jolly, tight end. 3 seventh-round picks, Miles Scott, safety, defensive end, tight end, Dallin Brent Bentley, and linebacker, Red Murdoch. Starting in the third round with these picks, the team is pretty stout, and it looks like they addressed just basic holes. So I can give them a B minus. I do like the fourth round pick of Jonah Coleman. I give them a B minus for the Denver Broncos. Green Bay Packers, second round pick. Cornerback Brandon Kesey. They had a third round pick at Chris McKeelan. They have a fourth round pick at Danny Dennis Sutton. They have a fifth round pick at Jagger Burton. They have 2 sixth-round picks, a cornerback, Damani Jackson, and a kicker, Trey Smack. I'm going to give the Green Bay Packers a C. They addressed their defensive needs with the first 3 picks, and then the last 3 kind of like they could have got their cornerback earlier. They could have just went defense in this. That's what really hurts. They have no secondary help. So yeah, I would have went a little bit different here and I would have gotten that 6th-round corner in that 5th round. So I'm going to give a C minus to the Green Bay Packers. All right, Indianapolis Colts. They had a 2nd-round pick. They got a linebacker, C.J. Allen, good pick. Safety, A.J. Halsey, another good pick. They got a guard, Jalen Farmer, in the 4th round. And they had 2 4th-round picks. The second one was linebacker Bryce Botcher. They had a 5th-round pick, edge rusher George Gums. They had a 6th-round pick, edge Caden Curry. And 2 7th-round picks. They had a running back, Seth McGowan, and wide receiver Deion Burks. I like exactly what they did. They went defense with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of their first 6 picks, they went defense. I'm very, very okay with that. That's definitely what they needed to address. So I give the Indianapolis Colts, starting in the 2nd round, B minus. Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, so they had a lot of picks starting in the 2nd round. They had a tight end, Nate Boyknicher. I don't think they needed one. They have Savage, if I'm not mistaken. They got a defensive tackle, Albert Regis, at the 3rd pick. I do think they needed that, so that was a good pick in the 3rd round. They had a 2nd, 3rd round pick. They got guard, Emmanuel Pregnan, 3rd pick. So they had 3 total picks. Hold on, real quick. I'm getting called. Holas. Can I call you back? Sorry about that. That was HR giving me a call. Sorry. No, that was the wife. All right. All right, back to it. Where were we? Who are we discussing? Who is this? Jacksonville. Okay, so they got a guard, Emmanuel Pregnan. They got a safety with the 3rd pick, Jalen Husky at safety. So they had 3 3rd-round picks. They had a 4th-round pick, edge Wesley Williams. They had a 5th-round pick, tight end Tanner Cox. So they got 2 tight ends. 6th-round pick. They got a wide receiver, Josh Cameron, which is what they needed. They needed maybe one more receiver, so they could have got him earlier. They could have got him where they got the guard in the 3rd round. They got another 6th-round pick, C.J. Williams. So they got 2 6th-round pick wide receivers, I guess. They got 2 7th-round picks. One, Zach Duffrey at edge, and another, Parker Hughes at linebacker. I'm going to give Jacksonville a C-. Didn't really care for their draft. They had tight ends I didn't think they needed. So unless I'm wrong and they do need these tight ends, I don't think they needed them there. They got wide receivers to me at the wrong positions. Yeah, I'll give them a C-. Starting in the 2nd round, they had a lot of picks, and I don't think they did really well with those picks. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, one more team. They almost snuck out, but we won't forget you. San Francisco. So, San Fran came in the 2nd round. They addressed their wide receiver issue. I love it. So they got this Dejon Stribling at the number. They had 2 3rd-round picks. They addressed their edging, so they got Romello Height at edge. They got another running back, Kalen Black in the 3rd round, and I do like that because they do need another running back. 3 4th-round picks. They got a defensive tackle, Grayson Halton. They got an offensive tackle, Carver Willis. I like that. They got a corner, Ephesians Prysock. I don't know what your parents were thinking. 2 5th-round picks, Jaden Duggar at linebacker, and they got an offensive tackle, Enrique Cruz. So I actually like every bit of what San Fran did in their draft. I believe they addressed their biggest need at wide receiver, and then they addressed everything else. And they, again, 3rd-round pick running back is going to be a great pick for them. They still have Christian McCaffrey, so I really do love that. So you can give, starting in the 2nd round, I give the 49ers a B+. Not too bad on them. Not too bad. All right, everybody. So that was a great show. We've gone through all 32 teams in the NFL and have basically discussed how they went and how they did in the draft. I gave them my own personal grade. You can agree with it. You can tell me to F off. That's the joy of doing this, right? So stay tuned next week. We are basically going to dive just a little bit more into teams, into roster, any NFL news updates that we have going on. We have OTAs getting ready to start, so we talk a little bit about what we can expect from players going into these younger guys going into the trainings and stuff like that. And we can start talking a little bit of fantasy. So we have players on teams. We can actually talk about what their impact will be on fantasy football. So we have a lot to do next week. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. I appreciate it. We are back full time. So we will be back once a week, every week. Until the season starts. We might go a little bit more episodes when the season starts. But right now it's once a week, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please stay tuned every week. And throughout the week, we will be dropping some shorts and stuff, getting us ready for the weekly live episode. So please stay tuned for everything that FCC has coming forward for you guys. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your ears. I love you guys. Thank you for everything. Tune in next week. I love you guys. I'm out.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.